guys, welcome to Bar Talk. This is Jenna Duddleston. Oh wait, this isn't right. Hi guys, welcome to Bar Talk. It's Jenna Duddleston. Today I'm drinking this fine red wine from southern France. I went there a couple summers ago. You gotta hold it here and twist it off. Make it real sexy. Wait, that's not right. April Fools! Guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that. Those were my two roommates. Everyone, round of applause for their gorgeous impersonations of me. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed them as much as I did. Thanks, guys. Okay, guys. Anyways, welcome on into Bar Talk this evening. We are at episode 15. Can you believe it? Because I know I can't, and I know I say that every night, but I genuinely mean that. I cannot believe we are at episode 15. So for those of you who are coming back night after night, thank you again. Welcome on back. If this is your first time joining, guys, welcome on in to the Bar Talk Club. It is a lot of fun. Just to give you a little background information on kind of how this came about, I am a bartender, and I am currently on furlough when the state of Illinois came and made the announcement that bars and restaurants were closed. I found out 2 days later that I was on furlough, so I said I was planning on doing this anyways. Let's do it here. I can be your virtual bartender, and that is the job that I am doing. So, as Fran said, guys, let me know what it is that you're drinking. I'm trying not to waste my supplies. This is Pointe de Noix from the Côte d'Or region in France. It is a delicious red wine. I love red wine. I love wine from France. And I hope you guys enjoy whatever it is that you're drinking. So cheers. Okay, so tonight's conversation is going to inspire you. And let me tell you who our next guest is. Our next guest is the one, the only Miss Laura Okmin. Most of you know Laura as being a reporter on NFL on Fox for Sundays, but she is so much more than that. I got to meet Laura through the Galvanized boot camps that I've been able to do now for 3 years. And Laura has this lovely saying, and she says, it's the who, not the do. Laura's do may be that she's a sports reporter, but her who is what has inspired me just day after day. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get Miss Laura on. Remember, I'm learning this with you guys. Cannot wait to have her on. Okay, as she's joining on in, tell me what it is that you guys are drinking, because I would love to know.
Hello, how are you? I got nervous when I saw those other girls. Like, are they 6 feet away? What is happening? Why does Jenna have friends over? When you said roommates, I felt so much better.
I know. I was like, I'm like, I should have probably warned you. And then I was like, you know what? I think she'll enjoy the humor in this, hopefully a little bit, because I really think people forgot it was April 1st.
I think we don't know what day it is, let alone what date it is. So as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, it is April Fool's. Do we all know anymore?
No one knows. No one knows. Laura, what are you drinking tonight with me?
So my intention was to be drinking a Moscow Mule with you because my husband and I are trying every week to make sure that we're supporting local businesses. So retail, restaurants, and this incredible woman in Nashville does her business is Rent-A-Rita, and she will drop off at your house a gallon of margaritas or a gallon of Moscow Mules or strawberry daiquiris. My husband and I did that because we're supporting Nashville, not because we just wanted gallons of alcohol to our front door. So I had every intention of supporting Rent-A-Rita and toasting a Moscow Mule, but because it's you and you said you were having a glass of wine and this night just felt like a glass of wine, I am toasting you with a glass of Sancerre. And don't ask me what kind, because I was just happy to have white wine in the fridge. I didn't care what it was, but I'm toasting you with a glass of white wine.
Beautiful. Cheers, Miss Laura.
Cheers.
And cheers to everyone who's watching.
To health and happiness.
To health and happiness, and staying put is my biggest thing right now. Okay, so Laura, meaningful and purposeful are two words that I know you have been saying to yourself every single day. what has been meaningful and purposeful in your life during this time?
Yeah. I think I probably was like a whole lot of us were in the beginning when we started this, and I was about 2 weeks early because I was coming off 10 days on the road. And so everybody wasn't really doing the quarantine at that point, unless you really had symptoms. But I was nervous because I'd been in a lot of places. So I started this probably about 4 weeks ago, it feels like, I don't know. But the first few days and then the first week or so, I just was waking up and just had, you know, the same thought everybody else does, like what's happening today and what should I think about? What should I do? And what's going on? And I started thinking about how can I create a north right now? How can I make sure that when I wake up every morning, I'm thinking about a direction instead of a lack of direction? And so my husband and I were talking about what words were really resonating at that time and at this time. And it was meaningful and purposeful. How do I make sure that if we are doing this for another 30 days or another 90 days, whatever, God forbid, we're doing, how can I make sure that every day I'm asking myself, how do I make this day meaningful and how do I make it purposeful? And I would say the most meaningful and purposeful thing I've done this week or since we've been quarantined was today when we did a galvanized virtual boot camp, and it was getting 20 plus of you on a Zoom call and being able to spend, it was supposed to be 2 hours, 3 hours, I think.
Yeah.
With
we still went after you left. So it might have been 3.5, but then I left.
Like, ladies, I got to prepare for a live show. It was everything I wanted it to be when I started thinking about what can I do to be meaningful and purposeful. And the first thing I thought of was I was getting so many calls from so many of you women and saying, asking a bunch of questions of how to use this time. And I thought, okay, how can I use this time to make sure I'm getting something meaningful and purposeful? And it was getting you guys together. And it was everything I hoped it would be in terms of hopefully a little bit inspiring and motivating. We had the NFL's incredible Sam Rappaport on, who I know is just
amazing.
With her magnificence.
Yeah.
And I hope we also, you know, I wanted it to be impactful and meaningful for you all and loving and supporting, and also just a couple of hours to enjoy each other and just kind of smile and laugh and catch up. So that was pretty wonderful. And that kicks off about 12 more boot camps coming up. I'm going to do them for the next few weeks in about 25 women each boot camp. We have about 300 women that are doing it. So I can't think of anything more meaningful and purposeful to me right now than getting to spend a lot of time with you guys.
I love that. And I hope that those who are listening right now are able to maybe take something from Laura and figure out what is meaningful and towards them in this time, because I think it's really important to make sure that we figure out what it is day in and day out, you know?
And sometimes right now, it might not even be day by day. It might be hour by hour of what can I do right now that's purposeful. Because also some days, what's really purposeful and meaningful to me is sitting down on my couch with my man and with my puppy and binging Ozark, you know, like, so it doesn't have to always be what can I do that's meaningful and purposeful, and that puts pressure on us, right? To feel like every day I'm waking up and I should be doing something. And some days I wake up and don't want to do anything, and I just want to give in, and I just want to have a day to feel something and to be scared. And I at least will name that and own that and go, I want that today, or I need that this hour. And so I'm doing continuous check-ins. I don't have a to-do list, which I'm pretty anal like you are, and like, you know, all of our galvanized girls are.
Yeah.
And I usually have that kind of to-do list, but that overwhelmed me because I also didn't want to go to bed every night and feel like a failure because I didn't do a lot of the things I was hoping to do. So I make my list now. It's called When You Get to It list. And I keep putting things in there and scratching them off when I do it, but there's no pressure on me to do it. Can you see Booyah is making an appearance?
Yes, he is. It wouldn't be a video call without Booyah in it, to be quite honest.
That's how I feel too. Thank you.
I love it. Okay, so life is definitely not what you thought it would be. And I think what I mean by that is people who, from the outside, people are like, oh my God, she's such a champion of women, but that wasn't always the case. You were never a girl's girl, but you're a mentor to so many women, and there's so much beauty that's come from this uncertainty that you had in the beginning. And with that being said, there's a lot of uncertainty that we're in now. So what advice do you have for people in trying to find the beauty in all of this? Because I think me and every girl watching could say, I can't imagine my life without Galvanize. And like, what if you didn't do it?
Thank God we don't have to think about that. You know, I've said this before, but I always kind of picture my life in a lot of ways before and after. And it was before I did the work, before I made myself happy, before I started to grow, you know, all of that. But what really is significant about before and after to me is before, when I had no women in my life, and then after, where now I've got this army of incredible women. And I always think about, I don't have to picture a life without it because I lived it. And I grew up, like so many of us in sports, a guy's girl. And I didn't trust women. You know, my high school and younger it was kind of a mean girl attitude. And so I didn't trust girls, and I stayed away. And you know what? The boys were a lot easier to hang with. You know, that's what I thought, is that they're not pushing me out of the group. They're not being, you know, they're all those stereotypes. And so I grew up not trusting girls. And that was such a punishment for me. I ended up giving it to myself, because now I just look at my life and I'm like, I can't imagine all these incredible women not in my life. And so now what I always say is, before, I would go into a situation with women and I'd always be very, very cautious. And I'd kind of look to see what energy you were giving me, a woman was giving me. And then I decide how to kind of proceed. Are you a guy's girl? Are you a girl's girl? And, you know, I'll kind of go from there. But now what I do is I lead with my energy, and I make sure I'm not looking at anybody else's. I walk into a room and I can't wait to go introduce myself to every woman. Every Sunday on a football field, 3 hours before, I eye contact with every woman I walk by. You know, if it's other reporters, if it's cheerleaders, if it's any of the team's women in marketing and PR in the front office. Good morning, sister. You know, looking good, sister. Love your hair, love your outfit. I always make sure I walk into every room letting every woman know I come in peace. And the cool thing with Galvanize is, sometimes, I know you felt this in your boot camps, where everybody will always say at the end of the 2 days, what if this never happens again? What if these 2 days were so magical and I never feel like this again in a tough business with a group of women? And I always look at it as, let's say there's 25 of you in a group, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if that's 25 of you who can take that magic from the 2 days and take it to your jobs, take it to your school, take it to your sorority, take it to your team. And you literally, we can take 25 people and change 25 cultures because you all come in peace. And that's what I love so much with Galvanize, because you all, like, the sisterhood is you guys spreading it and continuing to spread it.
So with all of that beauty, and it got, obviously it didn't come overnight, and obviously this isn't going to go away overnight. How would you tell people to maybe find the beauty in being quarantined?
It's so hard, right? Because because again, every day is so different. And I know this one's a cliche one, but I do it constantly, is a couple different things. But, you know, I love my lists. It just it gives me something to look at and, you know, and keep me honest. But I'm big on the gratitude. I'm big on the what am I thankful for, and always making sure that every negative thought I have, or every time I'm fearful of something, I make sure that I balance it with what am I also grateful for. So again, that doesn't mean that you can't have honest moments of, I'm scared, I'm worried about this. I kind of treat that, I think we talked about that in today's boot camp, like a fly buzzing. You know, you're aware of the fly, but you kind of just, you know, let it go and then push it. And sometimes I'll physically do that when I have negative thoughts. I kind of just treat it like a fly, and I get it away, and then I let something better come in my brain. And right now it's really, what am I grateful for? The other thing I'm doing is really doing the work, is making sure that that I'm diving into what lights me up right now, what does make me happy. And so I feel like once this, you know, this veil finally lifts and we go outside, I feel like I don't want to go, well, now what? I want to have a list of, here it is, you know, like what did I miss? What do I want to do? What beauty is around me and what beauty can I not wait to go find? And I probably take, you know, I take an hour a day, you know, to really sit down and not journal, but sit down and be with my thoughts and write them down and really ask myself, what am I grateful for today? Purposeful and meaningful. What am I doing? And also just what lights me up right now, because I have a feeling every one of us is going to change a whole lot after this experience. And my hope is if we're doing the work, we're changing for the better.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So I want to talk about the first game you get to go back to, and I want to try to paint that picture. The Sunday morning, fresh cut grass is all in the air. You walk through the tunnel. The sun is instantly beaming on your face. You hear the smells, or you smell the hot dogs and hamburgers in the air. You hear fans cheering and clapping. The national anthem plays and the hair on the back of your neck is standing up. And then the flyer jets go across. And how do you see the way that you approach that first game back to be different than any other game you've done?
I love that question. And what I would say, what I probably picture even more than that, and I love all of that. Like I'm sitting here thinking like, gosh, that moment of standing there with the anthem and feeling the gratitude of people finally being together again. And that gives me the hair standing up on the back of my neck. But probably what I'm so looking forward to is we get to the stadium about 3 hours before kick and before the gates are open, and maybe a little bit, you know, earlier than that. And so we're getting there at 9 o'clock in the morning if it's a central kickoff, if it's a central time kickoff, and nobody's there. And to be able to walk through that tunnel and to walk on the field when there might be a kicker or two, you know, maybe the quarterback is coming out to throw to a couple guys like really early or injured guys, but I can walk out there sometimes and there's 1 or 2 people. And in the old days, and by old days, I mean last year, in the old days, it was kind of like, okay, let's go. Like, come on, people, get out here and like, let's move. And what I'm really looking forward to now that you asked is to be able to walk out of that tunnel when it's quiet and when nobody's out there, and to smell the grass and to be able to look at an empty stadium and just be really thankful to be back out there. Because right now, I mean, I'm scared like everybody else is. What does that mean for this season? And when I picture what it's going to look like for the first game, are there going to be fans in the stands? You know, like, how are we doing this? So I think right now, I can't even say how much, like, I can't even put words to it. Just imagining walking out there and being back there again, even though I've done it so many times, I think there'll be such a different appreciation and gratitude. Like I know we'll all feel when we finally get back out to a place where there's tens of thousands of people again.
Yeah. Amen. All right. On that note, let's take a cheers. Everyone who's watching, take a cheers with us. And we are going to go into rapid fire.
Oh, no.
Okay. So, Laura.
Wait. Is that rapid fire question and answer? Am I going like that? Or are we?
Yes. It can still flow, so some of them will be quicker to answer. Some of them will have a bit of an explanation.
Okay.
So, okay. What is something people would be surprised to know about you?
What would people be surprised to know about me? I wish my husband was in this room. I'd ask for a call to friend. I'd ask for a tweet. I hate to say this is so lame, because this took me so much work to get here, Jenna, like to this point. I would say right now, like, I'm pretty authentic to who I am. And so if you asked me 10 years ago, I would have had a list of things because I was never myself and I hid so much from people. Mm-hmm. But now I feel like if I said anything to you, like, did you know this about me? I feel like you'd be like, yeah, none of that really surprises me. Kind of know who you are. Like, You know, like, so I think, I don't know if there's anything that you'd be like, huh, I had no clue about that. Maybe my obsession with country music and my love for country music, but really I don't have anything, I don't think I have anything deeper than that.
So you literally led into my next question, and that is, who is your favorite country artist? Because I know you love country music.
My husband is still not behind me, right?
He's not.
Tim McGraw, like easy, It's easy. Tim McGraw, I love Tim McGraw.
Yes. What is the kindest thing a stranger has done for you?
Oh God, too many to list. The great thing about people, about you being in people's homes, and people getting to know you, getting to know you sometimes on TV, is I can be walking through an airport, I can be at dinner, I can be, wherever, and somebody will just come up and just say, like, hey, as they're walking, like, just wanted to say, like, I'm a fan, or just wanted to say a story that meant something to me, and that's it. And they don't even want to talk, where I'll be like, hey, do you want to, hey, stop, like, let me find out your story. But that's the loveliest thing, is when people stop to tell you just something wonderful, something kind, because we're so used to social media right now, where people can chime in, and it's so negative, and sometimes that feels like you hear that more. But I would say that every day there's some kindness that I'm so appreciative of. If I see somebody in person or on Twitter or Instagram, someone just says something kind, I can't get enough of that.
Oh, love it. Would you rather be able to freeze time or travel in time?
Neither.
Neither.
I'm so good where I wouldn't want to freeze this, because who knows where it's going, and I don't want to look ahead, because I'm so in my sweet spot right now, and so grateful to be where I am in life. So I'm going to go with neither. I choose just to be present.
Okay. What is the best concert you have been to?
I mean, a million. My parents were extremely musical, and not that they played anything or sang, but they loved music. So our house was full of music. So when I tell you I grew up in concerts, I mean, Live Aid, 3 Farm Aids. My first concert was Elvis. I have seen my car ride with my brothers when we would drive cross country. People would do the alphabet game of, like, what you spy, or like food or something, A through Z. We can do the alphabet A through Z and name a concert we've seen. Like, that's how much, like, my whole life has been about music, and about like, I can get enough of live music. So what I would say is Elvis, because it was my first and I was obsessed with Elvis. But my husband and I, since we've been together, we've gone to almost every Stagecoach. So every, so out in California, and that every year is amazing.
Okay, everyone who's watching, what has been your favorite concert that you have been to? I would say for me, it would probably have been Drake, which is shocking, because I'm not a big person of, I don't like rap, but I loved it.
Where'd you see him?
He was at Tinley Park, so it's a big amphitheater, and it was like you felt like he was talking to you.
So was it the music, or it was just he's so wonderful? So it's him, it's the music, it's the vibe, it's everything.
It was a little bit of everything. It was a little bit of everything. Okay, have you ever danced on top of a bar?
Did Trisha just say, oh, I like Kenny Chesney, AC/DC, Backstreet Boys? Is that true?
Garth Brooks.
Good one. I was just looking, because I want to be like, I'm going to feel like I better have seen every single person that they're saying. Stagecoach, just like Laura.
Eminem in Detroit, Cher, Maren Morris.
Yes.
Rolling Stones, Lana Del Rey, U2, Mumford.
There's such good ones, U2.
Dixie Chicks.
Man, I've been listening to some of their new stuff right now. I'm loving, I can't remember what this one song is, but it's so, it's
Gaslighter?
Yes. How great is that?
So good.
Love it. Okay, good. Sorry. What were you going to ask? Sorry.
I was going to say, have you ever danced on top of a bar?
Yes.
Yes. What was the song?
Should I remember that?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't remember. I just remember so much fun. And honestly, I wish I could tell you it was when I was young and, like, woo, having fun. but it wasn't because I was so back in my shell and never showing who I was. So that was probably when I was about 42 years old, and had a list of like ways I was trying to push myself. And I had my best friend, Stuart Scott, who also made me a list of things he was hoping that I would do. And one of the things was dance on a bar. So I did it in Nashville, older than I should have, but it probably was even more awesome because I was old enough to know how ridiculous it was.
I love that. What is an odd or weird talent that you have?
An odd or weird talent. I'm not sad. I can't think of one.
Can you whistle well? Can you oddly clap your hands, make your ears wiggle? I don't know.
Can you do any of those?
I do this weird thing with my eye where like when someone does something weird, I'm just like, so.
Is it intentional? Is that a talent or is that a tick?
I probably a tick. I don't really know what you would call it, but I've learned in the past few years I've been able to do that where like if someone does something, instead of me rolling my eyes, I bring one eyelid down. So
this is not a talent. And so I'm only saying this because it's not a talent at all. It's horrible. Have you ever heard of, it's either pronounced misophonia? I think it's misophonia.
Yes.
Misophonia. So it's that like, I get in a rage when I hear somebody chewing gum or eating or like breathing loudly. Like it makes me full of rage and anger. It's a horrible thing. And they have made it an official condition in the last year or so. Do you have it?
Gum chewing doesn't bother me, but when people slurp their soup loudly, or when you put a piece of food in your mouth that just came out of the oven and you're just like, I'm like, what's wrong with you?
So that's one of them. And there's other people who like, that freaks them out. I'm okay with pen clicking, but the fact that you're okay with some things, I will tell my husband constantly, like, do you have to breathe so loud, which is a horrible thing to say. And I know this, but it is horrible. I have said if I've been sitting on airplanes with people and they're cracking gum, I've asked them to stop because I can't sit there and hear it.
Yeah.
So it's not a talent. That's the opposite of talent. It's a horrible condition that I have. But talent-wise, I got to work on it. I really don't have one. I can't do anything with my eye like that either.
You'll definitely find one. I think you will.
Drinking wine.
Drinking wine. That is a great talent. It really is. Okay, what is your favorite word to use?
We talked about this today. My favorite, for real, galvanize. Like I love anytime somebody says, you know, that they were galvanizing and it has nothing to do with us and women, but that word makes me very happy. Anything with galvanize. But also, I will drop an MFer if I mean it. I love it because there's no other word that is quite as wonderful as that one. When you need it, there's nothing else that substitutes for that word. So I will mother if I need to do it.
If need be. I love it. What is the last book you read?
And I'm only thinking because I love reading, especially in the off season, so I can have 2 or 3 books, boom, boom, boom. The last one, which I want you all to read for a different reason, but it's called The Sugar Queen.
Okay.
And it reminds me very much of you're too young, and everyone watching this is too young, but Steel Magnolias. Do you
I've seen it. Yes.
Did your mom make you?
No, she actually didn't. She actually didn't.
So that one I read recently, and I love it because it's all different generations of women, and it's that kind of thing where there's 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, but there's also 50-year-olds and 70-year-olds. So that was a great break for me because I'm very into historical fiction. I love it, and we'll get into the Nightingale or I'm trying to think of the last one I've read historical fiction wise, but The Sugar Queen was a nice break of just like a good fiction novel with a great sisterhood element to it.
Okay. What is your Favorite article of clothing?
Well, right now, sweats. A great leather jacket. Nothing better than a great leather jacket.
Amen. What is the best piece of advice that someone has given you?
Oh God, there's so many. There's so many. My husband is so wonderful in terms of like really living that Zen philosophy. I still work at that, being present. And he's probably, in the 7 years we've been together, he's probably been the most instrumental person to me in terms of a lot of things, but really, really making sure that I'm actually present. And if all of a sudden I start coming home and I've had a bad day or a bad week and I want to complain about something or I want to complain about someone, he'll never interrupt or like say, stop it. But what he'll do is kind of wait right when I start, and he'll say, do you think we spend enough time together? And I'll always say, no, we don't spend nearly enough time together. And he'll say, so we can spend the rest of our time having this conversation, or we can talk about something that really is meaningful right now. And that will instantly get me away from petty or away from gossipy or away from ripping somebody to all of a sudden, like he'll just bring it into this great, the present right now of how should we be using this conversation?
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so finish this sentence. What is your version of there are two types of people in this world?
There are two types of people in this world, those who get it and those who don't.
Okay. Fill in the blank. Never have I ever.
Never have I never. God, there's so many double negatives. All right, let me think about this.
Never have I ever.
Oh, never. I was like, wait, that's so hard. Never have I ever. That's such a good one, Jenna. Never have I ever. Can we come back to that one?
Yeah, of course. Who should my next guest be?
It's so hard because I want to say every guest. Girl, can you have every one of them on?
I know.
Have you had Gia Thompson on yet?
No, I haven't.
Gia, because all the work that she does in PR and also in journalism with her writing, and also transitioning in her life and finding a way to be really present in both. And she's so great at that, and also great at building relationships. I think Gia would be a wonderful one. And have you had Emily on yet? Emily Staker, who's wonderful and just graduated from law school, and is going to be an agent. And I love in a profession that sometimes can be a tough one, in a really important relationship for all the women watching who are talking about getting agents. I'm so excited that Emily is from the Galvanized family, and she is her whole heart is about representing women the right way. And there's a few great women agents who do that already. So I would say Emily and Gia from our Galvanized family. But as I say that, I'm like sitting here like, oh God, I should have said this one, this one, this one. Like any of your sisters, I'm like, yes, any of the Galvanized girls are so amazing.
That is so true. Okay. And then once this is all said and done, what's the first thing you're going to go do?
Probably have our friends over for a bonfire and have some live music, and to be able to finally be together and to be able to sit close and hug. Like, I'm just so excited to see everybody and hug them. Like, I don't even think I'm really a hugger, and yet I hate this awkwardness of like, now we can't see anybody, but like it was the elbows at first, or now it's just that 6 feet. And I miss that. I miss that just when you first see someone. I think hugs turn into the like, hi, how are you? Like sometimes you don't even mean it. You just say, like, you don't even answer when someone says, how are you? You're just like, how are you? It's a pleasantry, and I think now I appreciate hugs so much more, and I will make them much more meaningful when I start giving them.
Amen to that. Okay, so let's go back to the one question.
Oh, yeah.
There are two types of people in this world.
Yeah.
What are they?
No, that one I answered. Those
No.
who get it, those who don't.
Oh, then it was
never have
I
ever.
Never have I ever.
Never have I ever stopped missing my mom for a moment, even though she passed away in 1995.
I know that there are definitely people on here who could probably say the exact same thing. Definitely. Okay, so on that note, we are going to end on a toast. So everyone who is watching, please raise your glasses. And my toast this evening comes from my friend Taylor. And it says, sometimes the road ahead is blocked, but clearing the way becomes part of the journey. Learn to tell when it's time to let go, to surrender, to search for another road, a difficult path, a difficult dream. But also learn to tell when it's time to move forward through obstacles, if need be, because the dream is electric, charged by divine energy and love.
Ah, Taylor, that's a great one. I toast to that. I toast to you.
All right, Laura, thank you so much for giving me your time and coming on. And I love that I got to see your face 2 times in one day.
I don't want to show my nails. Showing my roots.
All right, Laura, I'm going to let you go. We will talk soon. Thank you so much for coming on. And I know you're going to help so many girls with the Galvanize in the next few days, because I know it's definitely helped my day.
I appreciate it. Thank you for adding so much meaningful to my day. I love you, and I appreciate you having me.
All right. All right. Bye, Laura. Thank you so much. All right, guys. That was the one and the only Laura Okmin. I hope that you leave that conversation feeling inspired and feeling just intrigued, and just also that really great reminder that you can give yourself that 1 hour to just do nothing and be with your thoughts. Okay. I didn't get to say this the other day. I do want to give a congratulations to my cousin Meg. So if everyone can send hearts, she gave birth to a baby boy, to Mr. Grady. I cannot wait to finally meet him and hug him and hold him. So Meg, congratulations. I hope that you and baby boy are safe. Guys, tomorrow's guest is going to be fantastic. I know he was on here earlier. I'm not sure if he's still on. We are having Kyle Prater on, aka KP. So I got to meet Kyle through a very unique story, which I will tell tomorrow. But he is a former NFL player turned filmmaker. And he bought a camera and became a student of YouTube and figured it out. And he is doing some amazing stuff. So with that being said, guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will have my drink. You have yours. And again, guys, stay home, be safe, okay? Drink responsibly. And remember, the sooner that we all do what we need to do, the sooner we can go back to hugging on each other and loving each other and living the life that we all want to live. So everyone, take care. Have a good night. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.